Imagine a child who speaks in terrifying detail about a life they never lived, describing gruesome scenes from a past life that ended in violent death. Picture the unsettling thought that a soul, trapped in a cycle of rebirth, returns not only with memories but with a vengeance, determined to finish unfinished business. This isn't the stuff of ghost stories. It's the disturbing reality for some children who recall the traumatic events of their past lives with eerie precision. One chilling case involved a boy in India whose memories of being murdered in a previous life led to the conviction of the very criminals responsible for his death. Decades after the original crime, his testimony helped solve a long-forgotten murder. Similarly, a young boy in the United States described the harrowing details of a World War II fighter pilot's death, a death he could not have known, leading to a chilling discovery that suggested he might indeed be the reincarnation of that soldier. These unsettling stories raise one horrifying question. Could our souls really return, carrying with them the dark memories of lives long past?
The Unsolved Murder and the Boy Who Knew Too Much, India.
One of the most disturbing cases of reincarnation came from a young boy in India who was born with vivid memories of his previous life. He recalled being a man who had been murdered in the city, a murder that occurred years before his birth. From a young age, the boy spoke about the murder, recounting the events with startling detail. He even identified the place where his body had been buried, describing his own death with such clarity that it sent chills down the spines of investigators. He also recognized the individuals involved in his murder, naming the people who had betrayed him in his past life. The boy even pointed out his former house, a location where he had lived, and was able to recount intimate details about the home that no one in his current life could have known. His memories were so precise that, after an investigation, the details he provided led to the conviction of the murderers who had evaded justice for over 30 years. The chilling accuracy of his past life memories not only raised eyebrows but sparked questions about the very nature of life and death, suggesting that some souls may indeed return to finish what was left unresolved.
The Reincarnation of a Fighter Pilot, the case of James Leininger.
In the United States, the story of James Leininger, a boy from Louisiana, is one of the most famous and chilling examples of reincarnation. At just 2 years old, James began describing in precise detail the life of a fighter pilot named James Houston who had been killed in World War II. He spoke about being shot down in a Japanese attack over the Pacific Ocean, naming the plane he flew and the ship on which he had served. James described the crash in vivid detail, how his plane had been struck by enemy fire, and how he had parachuted out before succumbing to his injuries. The boy's knowledge of World War II aircraft, naval history, and military protocol was staggering for someone his age and upbringing. His parents, initially skeptical, were forced to confront the truth when they discovered that James Houston had indeed been a real person. The details James described were accurate to the smallest degree, including the name of the fighter plane, a Corsair, the battle in which Houston died, and even the location of the crash. The boy had never been taught about World War II, so the eerie accuracy of his memories pointed to a chilling conclusion. James was somehow remembering the life of the fallen pilot, suggesting that reincarnation may indeed be more than a myth.
Barbara Carlin, the Anne Frank case.
Perhaps one of the most haunting and controversial cases of reincarnation is that of Barbara Carlin, a young girl from Sweden who, at the age of 4, began claiming she was Anne Frank, the Jewish girl whose diary became one of the most iconic records of the Holocaust. Barbara's memories were so disturbingly accurate that they made even the most hardened skeptics question their beliefs. At a young age, Barbara began describing details of Anne's life, including her family members, the location she had been confined to, and even her time in hiding. Barbara spoke about Anne's experiences, describing the secret annex where Anne and her family had hidden from the Nazis. She accurately described the people in Anne's life, including her father, Otto Frank, and other people in the hiding place, without ever having been told about Frank before. What sent chills down investigators' spines was Barbara's knowledge of events that had been recorded in Frank's diary, many of which were not known to the public at the time. As Barbara grew older, she continued to identify people from Frank's past and recognized photos of Anne, describing them as if she had lived them. This case remains one of the most disturbing, as it raises unsettling questions about the possibility of reincarnation and the persistence of memory beyond death.
The murderer identified by a 3-year-old, Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka, a young boy shocked his parents and the local community when, at just 3 years old, he began recalling details about a life that had ended violently. The child described in harrowing detail a man who had been murdered in a nearby village, giving precise information about the crime that no child could have known. The boy identified the location of the murder, the identity of the murderer, and the weapon used to kill the man. His memories were so accurate that they prompted an investigation, leading authorities to uncover the truth about the crime. Astonishingly, the boy's memories led to the conviction of the murderer, who had escaped justice for years. The boy's vivid recollections provided investigators with critical information, such as the exact spot where the murder had taken place, and even the physical evidence that had been overlooked at the time of the crime. This case adds another layer of mystery to the phenomenon of reincarnation, suggesting that souls might return, not only to finish their own lives, but to help resolve unresolved tragedies from the past.
Dr. Ian Stevenson's research, Scientific Evidence of Reincarnation.
One of the most significant contributions to the study of reincarnation comes from Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist who spent over 40 years researching cases of children who claimed to remember past lives. Dr. Stevenson documented over 2,500 cases of young children from around the world who exhibited memories and behaviors linked to previous incarnations. His research revealed an eerie consistency in the memories these children shared. In many cases, they accurately identified people, places, and events from lives they could not have known about, often giving information that was later corroborated by family members or historical records. In some cases, children exhibited birthmarks or physical characteristics that seemed to correspond to wounds or scars from their past lives. Dr. Stevenson's work is often cited as one of the most significant contributions to the scientific study of reincarnation, providing evidence that these experiences were not merely coincidence or imagination. While his findings have been met with skepticism in some circles, his research offers a compelling argument that reincarnation may be a real phenomenon.
Conclusion: the chilling reality of reincarnation.
The disturbing stories of children remembering their past lives and providing verifiable information that only they could know raise unsettling questions about the nature of the human soul. While these cases remain controversial and are often met with skepticism, they continue to challenge our understanding of life, death, and the possibility of reincarnation. Despite the scientific evidence, reincarnation remains unsupported by most modern religions, particularly in the Christian faith, which teaches that humans live once, die, and then face judgment. Yet, the chilling accounts of children who remember their past lives, and the strange evidence that sometimes follows, suggest that perhaps we are missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Whether a terrifying glimpse into the supernatural or an unexplained phenomenon, reincarnation continues to haunt our understanding of existence, leaving us to wonder if the cycle of life is far more mysterious than we ever imagined.